Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to be looking at how Muslims revolutionized science and medicine. So let's jump right into it. Between the 8th and 14th century, there was something called the Golden Age of Islam. It was centered in cities like Baghdad, Cordoba and Cairo, where Muslim scholars gathered from all around the known world, from Greece to Persia to India and beyond. There they built libraries and translated texts, preserved ancient Greek and Roman knowledge and expanded on it with their own research. One of these centers was the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, which served as a major research and translation center. It's believed that over 40,000 books were translated into Arabic during this period, covering a wide range of subjects from philosophy and mathematics to astronomy and medicine. So, what did Muslims invent? Well, first let's talk about medicine and hospitals. Al-Khwarizmi was a Persian physician who lived in the 9th century. He's considered to be one of the most important figures in the history of medicine. He was the first to differentiate between measles and smallpox, which is a pretty big deal considering those diseases can be deadly, and he wrote over 200 works on a variety of medical topics. Another important figure in Islamic medicine was Ibn Sina or Avicenna, who lived in the 11th century. His book, The Canon of Medicine, was used in Europe for over 600 years. It was a comprehensive work that covered everything from anatomy and physiology to pharmacology and therapy. But it wasn't just about writing books. Muslims also built hospitals. They weren't called hospitals. They were called by Maristans, but they had wards for different types of patients, pharmacies, even mental health care. They were way ahead of Europe when it came to healthcare. Next up, let's talk about surgery and instruments. Al-Bucasis or Al-Khwarizmi was a Spanish Arab surgeon who lived in the 10th century. He's considered to be the father of modern surgery, and his book, The Compendium of Surgery, described over 200 surgical tools and procedures. He talked about everything from simple things like bandages and saws to more complex procedures, like cesarean sections and cataract removal. And I know you're probably thinking, but it's important to remember that surgery was really risky back then. There weren't really anesthetics, so it was usually only done when absolutely necessary. Moving on, let's talk about mathematics and astronomy. Al-Khwarizmi was a mathematician and astronomer who lived in the 9th century. He's considered to be the father of algebra. You probably know that algebra is a branch of mathematics that deals with equations and symbols, but it's actually much more than that. It's a way of thinking and solving problems. And Al-Khwarizmi's book, the Compendium Book on Calculation by Completion and Balancing, introduced the world to algebra. But he didn't stop there. He also introduced the Hindu Arabic numerals to the world. These are the numbers that we use today: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Before this, people used Roman numerals and didn't have a concept of zero. This was a huge development because it made calculations much easier. The Hindu Arabic numerals eventually replaced Roman numerals throughout the world. Other Muslims developed trigonometry and optics. They also improved astronomical instruments like the astrolabe, which is a device used for navigation and telling time. They made incredible advances in mathematics and astronomy. Next up, let's talk about the scientific method and experimentation. Ibn al-Haytham or al-Hazan lived in the 10th century. He was a mathematician, astronomer, and most importantly, a pioneer of the scientific method. He was the first to question how we know what we know. He stressed the importance of observation, hypothesis, and testing. He studied optics, light, and vision, and his work laid the foundation for modern physics and our understanding of the universe. He basically said, okay, we can't just accept things blindly. We need to test it out. He was also a mathematician and astronomer. But it's his work in optics that's the most significant. He figured out how images are formed on the retina and how the brain interprets them. He also invented a device called an ophthalmoscope, which is used to examine the eye. And I know we've got some doctors watching this video, and I know they're probably thinking, duh, it's 2023. But back then that was a big deal. Now some might ask, why should we care about this stuff? Why does it matter? Well, it matters because much of this knowledge was passed to Europe via translations, especially through Spain, which was under Muslim rule for over 700 years. This period is known as Al-Andalus, and it was a melting pot of cultures and ideas. Muslim scholars from all over the world came to Spain, and it became a hub for trade and intellectual exchange. But let me tell you, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Despite their many accomplishments, Muslim scientists and scholars were often overlooked, and their work was sometimes stolen. Let me explain. During the colonial era, there was a lot of Eurocentrism going on. Basically, Europeans thought that their culture and ideas were superior to everyone else's. So they kind of erased or downplayed the contributions of other cultures, including Muslim contributions. They were like, Muslims didn't do anything for us. And it's unfortunate because it's just not true. A lot of Muslim scholars were actually ahead of their time, and their ideas were centuries ahead of Europe. To sum it up, Muslims didn't just preserve ancient knowledge, they innovated, experimented, and revolutionized it. Their work laid the foundation for the modern scientific world. If you want to learn more about Muslim history, check out this playlist here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and subscribing to our channel. If you want to support us, please consider making a donation through the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Allah bless you.